but to then not follow through with the purchase they asked me to arrange for them is frustrating. So that's why they're sat there, because I thought I had a buyer for them. Apparently not. Well, good morning. Welcome back to the Tech Cave on a Monday. Here we go again. I thought we would put together a video. I'll share with you all of the items that have sold over the weekend. Now, we've sold a fair bit on eBay. Some really quite nice orders, I think. Some of the board games haul has gone. One quite, decent, tasty order. In fact, maybe a few. And we've had some Vinted sales. Andrea's been down and sorted out a whole load of stuff that she's sold on Vinted. I still haven't started selling on there, but I really do want to. That's coming. And we've had a couple of private sales. I'll start there, actually. So Claire got in touch and asked about this Paul Weller bag. I don't know if Andrea shared this in a video, but she noticed it, and I think she's bought it for her husband. Really cool thing, this. Very strong market for these. I think they're hard to come by, official Paul Weller merchandise. So we agreed a price on that, and that has now sold. So thank you very much, Claire. I think it was for your partner. Hope he loves it. And Katie got in touch. I did a little video going through all of the video games we had in stock, because Katie is a collector, and she picked out a few bits that she wanted. So there's Project Gotham 2, which still needs to go through my disc repair machine, and I haven't got that set up yet. I'm going to try and get it done today, but I'm afraid these might have to go out tomorrow. I hope that's okay. Project Gotham Racing 2, a PS1 game, bit of an unusual one, Windsurfer's Paradise. It was a pocket price Midas Touch budget range from back in the day. Some of these are getting hard to get hold of, so that's an interesting one. And then Bust a Move with no front cover and no manual on the PS1. So those three are going to Katie. Thank you very much. You've been a viewer for a long time and have made several purchases. We really do appreciate it. So there's those two private sales. And then, as I said, we're doing quite well on Vinted, and we have very little listed. I don't know how many things Andrea's listed. Some of this sold within the day, I think. So let's see, we've got these John L. curtains. So a pair of curtains, vintage ones, went for 40. A flat sheet here. Lovely. Wasn't much in that. That's gone for a £5. Now on Vinted, everything is plus shipping. The buyer pays the shipping. So shipping on top of all of this. A little bit of material. This patchwork stuff here also went for a £5 plus shipping. These bits owe us very little. And some more curtains. These ones here, 20. So yeah, all good. And then Andrea has already picked her bits that have sold on eBay, but we'll get onto that in a sec. So yeah, Vinted is doing well. Now, while I try not to trip over it, I need to mention this. I put together a quick video about this, and it's blooming obvious to me now that it is a pan holder, but I wasn't sure, so I put that video out. There's the hooks in there. This is where the lids go. I wasn't sure what the holes were for. So thank you to everybody who messaged on that video and said, yeah, Nick, that's for the Crusade pans, you wally. I had a whole load of private messages as well. George got in touch, George Ross, sent me some pictures and he goes, yeah, it's a pan holder, Nick. Here's some pictures. It's obvious now. Anyway, I will open up eBay and we'll go round here and pick all the stuff that's sold on eBay from in here. Okay, so here is everything we need to find that we sold on eBay. Let's get the grand total. So 18 orders for a total of £565, 67p. Right, I'm going to try and perch you up there, I think. So if I start at the top here, this came in not long ago, and yeah, it's a nice one. Dungeon Lords Anniversary Deluxe Edition. It's a bit of a whopper. It is right down here, and it's tucked in under here, look, this case. So I'm going to need 2 hands to get that out. Right, there it is. So, Dungeon Lords. If we have a quick peek inside, there you go. Don't want things to fall out. You can't really see, but you get the idea. It's a deluxe edition. This has been listed for quite a while. I think it's been on at 100 for a while. We finally let it go on offer at 70 plus post. This is actually going to America on the GSP. So yeah, happy with that. Finally leaving the building. Had a bit of a frustrating interaction with a customer over the weekend too. A buyer got in touch about some of the Dwarven Forge scenery that we've got listed. We don't have much left on, and it's all this sci-fi stuff. He messaged and he said, I'm interested in 4 sets. If you can do me some discount, I'll buy 4. He, I think, was also in America, and he wanted to buy on GSP, and he wanted to combine them all, so we only paid 1 GSP. I'm happy to accommodate that. So we had a bit of a chat, and I ended up making him a listing. In the meantime, he'd decided he now only wanted 3, so I made him a listing of 3, the 3 sets he wanted, gave him some discount, set up a new listing, sent him the listing number, went through all of that palaver, and now he's ghosting me. So now I've got a listing running of this bespoke bundle for this one buyer. I've cancelled the original listings, created this, and now he's not communicating. I'll happily go out of my way for customers, but to then not follow through with the purchase they asked me to arrange for them is frustrating. So that's why they're sat there, because I thought I had a buyer for them. Apparently not. Anyway, onwards with some actual sales. So next, Warhammer Fantasy Roleplay Games screen. Now I've rearranged on here. I had a load of stuff in a pink crate, so I took all of that out. I've been listing a lot more of the D&D stuff. I went through all of these dungeon tiles packs that we've got. Got all of those listed. All of these here, these are all new. They're all dungeon tiles. But the stuff that was here in a crate is now stacked up here, and within it should be this screen. Okay, I need 2 hands, hold on. Right, here it is. So this is one of these kind of Dungeon Master style screens. So you would sit behind it like that, and on my side I've got all of the rules and stuff, so I can control the game from behind here. Anyway, that's gone. A buyer got in touch and said, would you sell it at this price, a discounted price? I said, yes, I would. And there's an offer function in the messaging system these days. So I replied with an offer reflecting what he wanted to pay, which was £11. This has been listed for ages. It's had very little views, virtually no interest. So yes, I was happy to give him some discount. So next we have sold a blue Christmas tablecloth. Oh, this was one of the items Andrea has already picked and laid out over here. It's this one. So yeah, Christmas items sell all year round, and that is a Christmas tablecloth. Yeah, go on, what did it sell for? £8 plus postage. Then we've sold an iPhone screen protector, like a, what are they called? Tempered glass screen protector. Pack of 2 has gone for £7, which was an offer. That is B3. So B3 is here. Now all of these yellow packs, let me grab one, are these tempered glass screen protectors. So I have these, there's 100 or so of that design, or for that phone. what are these for? iPhone 15 Pro Max. Then there's a load up here for a different phone. There's a load down here for a different phone. I got them all sorted and listed recently, and they've started selling. Now these owe me pennies. I bought a job lot of these again. I had a job lot before we moved from Norfolk, and I didn't want to deal with it, and because we were moving house, I sold them in bulk. These I'm going to try and sell through myself. I do have a load more, which I may yet, I'll show you quick. The rest of the stock is all in there. Tablet cases, phone cases, loads of cables and all sorts. I may yet do a job lot on that. I'm not sure. But these have started selling. So that's gone for £7. And we also sold, if I can find it, this one. An A5 has gone for £9. Oh, A5 is one here that we only had one of. Yes, it's this one, I believe. Yeah, a 3-pack for a Galaxy S21. I think that's the one. Let's have a look. Samsung Galaxy S21. Yep. There we go. So I only had one of those and it's gone. Okay, so that's the phone cases. Next, Dungeons and Dragons Player's Handbook 2, 4th edition. Right, I had 2 of these. They are here. Can you see? Not really. Hold on. There we go. That went for £15. That was reduced to clear. Been on a long time, just wasn't getting views, wasn't getting picked off. Happy to move it. Right, next we sold a CD. Now, shortly after moving here, I had a fantastic free pickup of CDs. It was all of these in here, but they're brand new sealed ones. And they're all ex-Amazon stock. They all have Amazon FBA barcode labels on. But yeah, I grabbed them all. Somebody just wanted shot of them. I gladly went and picked them up. Went through the whole lot and got them all listed end of last week sometime. We sold a few already. Now a lot of these have very little value, even new and sealed. This McFly has only sold for what, £3 or £4, something like that. So very little. But they were free, so I'm not too worried. The other thing to sell, I had 2 of these. These are Mercy, or The Mercy, soundtrack CDs. And somebody bought both for, let's see if I can find that order. Can you see? Not really. Both went for £7.58. They'll still go as a large letter. So again, not a lot of money, but there's a couple of hundred CDs in here. There was loads of, hold on, let me show you. This one. This is Ed Sheeran's Equals. Stacks of those sealed. I don't know how many I've got, like 50 or so. Yeah. And also Liam Gallagher. This is called Come On You Know. But even that, you know, I'm going to struggle to get £4 or £5 each out of it. The Ed Sheeran ones are all over eBay, new for about £3 or £4. So again, not big value. I've actually done some bundles of these, like bundles of 10 for, what did I put them on at, £25 or something, just to see if I can shift some as a bundle. But again, it was all free, so it doesn't really matter. And if it's really slow to sell these individually, tick them over, I would just job lot these, because yeah, just need to move it. There's some really random stuff in here. There's some classical, looking at sales history on eBay, these don't sell very often and they're only worth about £5. So yeah, we'll see. This sort of thing, see, classical stuff. The demand is pretty low. Here's another one. There you go. So I think it was somebody that either was just clearing dead stock and wanted shot of it, or it was somebody who had bought a job lot somewhere and was just fed up trying to sell them and just wanted rid of them. I don't know. Right, onwards. What next? So we have sold another Wii adapter in here. These are going down fast. There you go, you've seen them before probably. They go for about $4.50, I think I've got them on at now. Next we've sold AutoQuest Lurker Pack. It's right here. Lurker Pack. Yeah, it's some figures for a game called AutoQuest. And that sold, it went on offer. And the offer that came in was 25, which was perfectly fine for that. Next we sold a teapot, which Andrea already grabbed. Now this was an item been listed for ages, since way before we moved. Andrea listed a whole load of teapots. The decent ones sold quick and we were left with a few, and she's been aggressively discounting these. So this one has now gone on clearance at £8 plus post. And then we've sold another CD from in here. The King and I. Where's that? Here we go. The King and I. And again, £3.50 delivered, free shipping. So by the time you take fees and shipping out of it, we'll end up with, I don't know, £1.50, if that. So it is what it is. They were free, so I don't really care, but you know, is it worth fiddling around for that? I think so, as long as they tick over quite quickly. As I said, if they're slow, I'll just bundle them up and get them gone in little job lots. Right, Jewel of Ages. Now, this has been sticking around. If you peek up there, it's this one. So there's a big box filled, whoa, dropping things. A big pack here filled with cards. And these two packs here. So let's move these out of the way. It's these. Jewel of Ages 2. Now, I had to come down on price. I think when I started it, I might have listed this at 100 or so. I really didn't know where to go. It doesn't come up very often, but there's also very little demand for it. And I've been incrementally coming down. We finally sold it for 60. And that's all I could get out of it. I think last month-long cycle, the listing for this had like 5 or 6 views. Nobody was interested. So really, I'm just happy to find somebody who wanted it and was prepared to pay £60. It's gone. Next, we've sold an Olivia Rodrigo flag. You may remember I sold a Drake flag, just the same as this. It's like an American flag in pink and white with the artist's face over the front of it. Yeah, I've got 2 of these Olivia Rodrigo ones, and one has now gone for £10. Next, Port Merion Botanic Garden casserole dish. Now, we had 2 of them set up here. The other one went last week for 20. This one's now gone on offer at 15. And Andrea came down and picked all of her bits earlier. So it's there. Now, we bought a whole load of Port Merion stuff when we were down here in Ramsgate viewing houses, when we still lived in Norfolk. We went in a charity shop and bought a whole selection of this stuff, and the pricing was really good. These have been slow, so we've discounted those to move them. So yeah, That one went fairly cheap at 15, but we made our money on the other stuff really. I don't know what we would have paid for that, maybe a £5, so there's not much in it. But we've moved it, and I think that wraps up all the Portmeirion that we bought in Ramsgate, whenever it was, last autumn. And then to wrap up sales for this weekend, 2 very nice board game sales. Now, last Thursday, I think, I went through and got all of this Arkham Horror stuff listed. I've already sold one of the small add-on packs, and I think I got 50 for one of the small ones. We've now sold Miskatonic Horror, which is here, this one, and that's gone for 150. Yeah, that one for some reason doesn't seem to come up very often. When it does, it seems to sell really well, so I put it on high and it was picked off quick. The other one to go is Kingsport, so yeah, it's the other one that's next to it here, and that one seemed a bit more common. It's gone for 80. We do have another one here and another one down here, but we sold the first 2 for 150 and 80, so very pleased with those. Let's get them out. Oh, let me show you this as well. This is an aluminium little baking tray thing for cakes, but you make them in the shape of a train. Isn't that the coolest thing? It's not a great deal of value. I think it's on at 10 or 12 pounds, but I thought it was cool. Right, so let's grab these. So there we go. That's the £150 one. Very nice. And this one, was it that way around? No, this is the £150 one. The one I just showed you was the £80 one. Yes? Yes. There you go. I'm just going to slot this in because I completely forgot to mention these 2 plates. These were an eBay sale and went for 15 plus post, 22 all in for those 2. So that's everything that we're going to ship out today, everything that's sold over the weekend. So with the eBay orders, the Vinted orders, there's a couple of private sales, altogether £670. That's the turnover. There's fees, there's some postage has got to come out of that where the postage isn't added on. But yeah, quite happy with that. Our numbers are slowly, picking up. Now we're getting back into listing. Both myself and Andrea are really trying to get the listing going now. We're getting there and we're seeing the results. So thank you for watching. If you are new here, please think about subscribing. It's completely free. And we share our whole process of sourcing this stuff, getting it listed and selling it for a profit. This is how we earn a living. And in here, you can see all of the stuff that we try and sell to make a bit of cash and pay the bills. So if you'd like to carry on watching me, check me out up there. I'll see you over there in that one in a sec. Ta-ra!